the quiet life that hides a bloody destiny. From the very first moment, we are introduced to Shiki Ichinose, a young man who appears to live a simple life without major problems. He lives with his grandfather in a modest house, far from the city, surrounded by an atmosphere of peace and routine. To anyone else, he is just an ordinary boy, without extraordinary talents or heroic deeds. But, as we quickly discover, this tranquility was nothing more than a facade, hiding a dark secret that would change Shiki's life forever. The relationship between him and his grandfather is portrayed warmly. The old man always cared for him with affection, but with a certain air of constant concern. Small details in his daily life, apprehensive glances, repeated advice for Shiki to avoid trouble, already made it clear that there was something unspoken about the boy's past. Still, Shiki grew up without major conflicts, believing his destiny was simply to live a peaceful life with his only relative. But the world of Tougen Anki is not safe. A silent war rages in the shadows between hunters, demons, and hybrids, beings who carry demonic heritage in their blood. And even without knowing it, Shiki has been involved in this battle since birth. One day, during a seemingly ordinary stroll through town, Shiki's life is turned upside down. Without warning, he is attacked by a grotesque creature, a savage demon, that emerges from the shadows. The attack is brutal and swift, and Shiki, lacking any fighting ability, is completely vulnerable. In his desperation, his body reacts in an inexplicable way. An unknown energy begins to pulse through his veins. His eyes burn, his strength increases, and for the first time, something within him awakens: the demon's blood. The moment is chaotic. As the attack continues, Shiki loses control of his body. Instinctively, he counterattacks the monster, moving with superhuman agility and strength he never imagined he possessed. His blows are so powerful they destroy everything around him. But with this strength comes fear. He senses something is wrong. His senses change, his instincts become more violent, and for a moment, he fears becoming exactly like the monster he is facing. When it's all over, the demon's body lies slumped, and Shiki, exhausted, stares at his own blood-covered hands. Confused, he returns home and demands answers from his grandfather. It is then that the secret kept for years is finally revealed. The old man, with a sad look on his face, tells the truth. Shiki, you don't just have human blood running through you. You carry the heritage of a demon. That's why I tried to keep you away from all this, so you could have a normal life. This revelation deeply shocks Shiki. His entire life had been built on a lie necessary to protect him. But now, there was no turning back. The awakening of his demonic blood was not an isolated event. It was the beginning of something bigger. With this power, he automatically becomes a target. Demon hunters, who seek to exterminate anyone with demonic bloodlines, now know of their existence. And on the other side, powerful demons, they also begin to see him as a valuable asset or a potential threat. Even in the face of fear, Shiki displays something unique: courage. In a new demon invasion, when he could simply flee for his life, he chooses to fight to protect the innocent. His power explodes again, still uncontrolled, but guided by an inner force different from demonic savagery: the will to protect. This choice is the turning point. Even though he carries demon blood and is seen as a threat, Shiki decides that he will fight for good no matter the cost. The first part of these episodes shows not only the awakening of abilities, but the birth of a gigantic internal conflict. Shiki now must deal with a fragmented identity, part human, part demon, while the world around him begins to see him as a danger. It's the beginning of the journey of an anti-hero, a boy who, despite being cursed, seeks to prove he can choose his own destiny. Internal conflict and the threat of hunters. After the awakening of the demonic blood, the life of Shiki Ichinose changes, drastically. The peaceful days spent with his grandfather are gone, replaced by sleepless nights, constant doubts, and the feeling that he's being watched at every turn. The revelation of his demonic lineage isn't just a family secret, it's a sentence. From that moment on, Shiki knows that the world will no longer see him as a human, but rather as something dangerous, unpredictable, a possible enemy to be eliminated. As he tries to understand what is happening inside him, Shiki begins to feel changes in your body and mind. Your senses become heightened, your strength multiplies, your reflexes become superhuman. But along with these powers come violent impulses, almost as if another entity were trying to take over. Sometimes, when he looks in the mirror, he feels he's not alone, that his demon blood throbs, demanding he give in, that he stop fighting his true nature. In the second episode, we learn more about the hidden world surrounding Shiki. A silent war has been going on for years. Demon hunters, organized into secret groups, dedicate their lives to hunting down any hybrid or demonic offspring. For them, beings like Shiki don't deserve to live among humans. They are walking dangers that can cause massacres at any moment. This ideology makes them ruthless, driven by fear and the belief that the only solution is total elimination of hybrids. Soon, Shiki becomes a target. An ambush is set one night as he tries to protect his grandfather. A squad of hunters invades the house, attacking without hesitation. The desperate grandfather tries to negotiate, saying that Shiki has never hurt anyone, that he's not like the others. But for the hunters, that doesn't matter. For them, demonic blood is a definitive sentence, no matter the person's personality or choices. During the attack, Shiki is forced to use his powers again. His survival instinct takes over. With swift movements and brute strength, he disarms trained hunters, breaks special weapons designed to contain demons, and faces spells that should paralyze him. But something stands out. Even in the midst of battle, Shiki refuses to kill. Shiuai strikes down his enemies, incapacitating them, but he doesn't take lives, even when it would be easier. This shows that despite the blood he carries, he still struggles to keep his humanity intact. After the battle, another group enters the scene. Unlike the hunters, they don't want Shiki dead. This is a secret organization that believes in the coexistence of humans and demons. For them, Shiki is a rare, perhaps unique piece, a hybrid with the potential to change the balance of this war. They offer refuge, training, and answers about his origins. But along with the proposal comes a warning. If you don't learn to control this power, it will consume you. This line echoes in Shiki's mind. He's felt it before. That feeling of losing control, of almost hurting innocence without realizing it. The fear of becoming a monster torments him. Still, he hesitates. Trusting strangers is risky, especially when the entire world seems against him. As doubt gnaws at him, Shiki faces the most dangerous internal conflict so far. In a sequence of nightmares and trance-like moments, we see the demonic side within him manifest, whispering to him to abandon the idea of protecting humans, to accept his destiny as a predator. The blood coursing through his veins seems to have a will of its own, demanding complete control over his mind. However, something inside Shiki refuses to give in. His grandfather's words echo, "You can choose what to do with this power." This phrase becomes his beacon. Upon awakening from one of these episodes, he decides that no matter what the blood wants, he will continue fighting to protect innocence. This choice, however, does not free him from danger. It only places him even deeper in the path of future battles. The second episode ends by making it clear that Shiki isn't just a boy with powers. He's the balance between two worlds that hate each other. While hunters pursue him as a threat and demons see him as a potential ally or rival, Shiki stands alone, trying to forge his own path. A path that was never thought of for someone like him. The hero's awakening and the uncertain future. In Dao. The third episode, the story of Shiki Ichinosa reaches a turning point. After discovering the truth about his blood, battling hunters, and facing the fear of losing himself to his demonic side, he is finally faced with a choice that will forever change his path. The war between humans and demons is no longer a distant rumor. She comes at him with full force, dragging innocence into the fire of conflict. The episode begins with the city in chaos. A group of powerful demons invades, wreaking havoc on the streets. Houses collapse, people scream in despair, and not even the hunters can contain the threat. For Shiki, who has tried to lead a low-key life since the last battle, it's impossible to ignore the tragedy. Even knowing that using his powers will expose him even further, he can't stand still while innocents suffer. During the invasion, we see Shiki's evolution in action. If before he barely understood his own strength, now he begins to channel demonic blood with more control, increasing the speed and power of his attacks without completely losing consciousness. His movements are precise and devastating. A single punch destroys creatures that previously seemed invincible. Each time he advances, the ground shatters beneath his feet, proving that his scarlet energy isn't just a power, it's an explosive force that defies human logic. However, the real challenge is not defeating the demons. The biggest obstacle is prejudice and fear surrounding him. In a dramatic moment, Shiki saves a group of civilians, preventing them from being crushed by debris. As he approaches to help them, expecting gratitude, he is met with screams of terror. A child points to him saying, "He's just like the monsters. He's a demon too." These words pierce Shiki more than any blow he's received so far. Even though he saves lives, he's seen as an enemy, and this isn't just true of humans. Some demons who observe him during the fight also despise him, calling him a traitor for using demonic power to protect humans. Rejected by both sides, Shiki finally understands that he is alone in this battle. But instead of giving up, he raises his head, looks into the eyes of those who fear him, and says, "If the whole world calls me a threat, I will prove them wrong, even if I have to fight all of you." These words mark the emotional turnaround of the story. For the first time, Shiki isn't just reacting to events. He makes a clear decision. He will use the power of demon blood, not to hide or seek acceptance, but to prove with actions that he is different. Even if he is seen as a monster, he will be a protector. Even if the world rejects him, he will fight for those who cannot defend themselves. The battle against the demons continues intensely. In an epic scene, Shiki single-handedly faces one of the invasion's bosses, a demon of colossal size. With swift strikes, precise dodges, and a cry of determination, he concentrates all his blood energy into a single attack, felling the enemy and saving dozens of lives. The image of the boy covered in blood, standing on the rubble, with the red aura glowing around him, becomes the symbol of the hero who was born that night. But not all is victory. The destruction is widespread, and the hunters who arrive after the confrontation don't see him as a savior. To them, Shiki is just another anomaly that needs to be controlled. Tensions mount, and it becomes clear that this will be his reality. From now on, fight chaos-hungry demons. Escape from hunters who want your head, carrying the weight of a humanity that fears him. Even so, at the end of the episode, we see Shiki standing, looking at the horizon, next to his grandfather who, despite everything, continues to support his grandson. He knows he can no longer live in hiding. He knows he needs to understand his origins, control his power, and above all, face the fate that demonic blood tries to impose. The soundtrack swells, and Shiki's last line echoes like a promise. "I didn't choose to be born this way, but I choose what I'll do with this power. I will fight. I will protect, even if I have to face the whole world." With that, the first part of the story of Tougen Anki ends, establishing the birth of a unique anti-hero, a boy with demon blood, rejected by humans and creatures of darkness, but who decides alone to become everyone's shield, even though he is seen as the greatest threat. Continues. But what do you think of this anime so far? It is worth it? Click the like button so you don't miss any recaps here on the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.